Welcome back, everybody. Today on Celebrate Sausage, we're going to be making traditional English bangers. Stick around. An English banger is not only a sausage, but it's also considered a comfort food in Great Britain. Typically, when we talk about bangers, we're also talking about mashed potatoes, or as they say in England, bangers and mash. As we dive a little bit deeper into what it's like to make bangers and mash, I wanted to talk to someone who was intimately familiar with this British comfort food so that we can get it properly sorted. So today we'd like to welcome a very special guest. Andrew, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Really good. Hi, Eric. Nice to see you, and welcome everyone to Celebrate Sausage.
Just so that everybody's clear, what exactly do you do? What's your job?
So I am a British diplomat in the embassy in Washington.
How many notches under Queen of England would you say you are?
Me, about 10 rungs within the Foreign Office, the Foreign Secretary, the Prime Minister, the Queen. So a fair few.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, but if you look at me in relation to the Queen, you're a whole lot closer.
Yeah, technically, I suppose, yeah.
You're on the show today because we're featuring a British comfort food in the sausage department.
You're talking about bangers and mash. I don't think there's a household in England, unless you walk into a vegan or vegetarian one, that hasn't cooked it and eaten.
All right. So why is it called bangers?
So it's a historical thing. It dates back, probably the earliest references around the First World War, but it came into more common usage in the Second World War. And it's called bangers because the sausages used to explode in the pan. And it is based on the ingredients. So they used to put a lot of cheap cuts. It was wartime, and so they filled it with a lot more fat than the ratio that we'd use today, but also rusk, which is a kind of dried breadcrumb. Filled with water, so fillers basically. And those fillers, when they got hot, they would expand rapidly and explode the sausage.
Oh, wow. Hence the name bangers.
Yeah.
Is there any particular way to eat a banger that's traditional?
Bangers traditionally refer to a breakfast sausage, strangely, and not the kind of bangers and mash that we associate with now. So a banger was a term for any sausage that was eaten at breakfast up until the last 20 or 30 years. And in those last 20 or 30 years, a banger in the UK would only be referred to something that was eaten with mash. Mash and gravy, usually an onion gravy. It's the name of a meal rather than the sausage now.
All right. Well, this sausage series is all about the journey and exploration about making new sausages, especially those that I've never tried or made from all over the world. Do you have any advice for me before I get started?
Trust your instincts and your taste. You should end up, if it's a banger, you should end up with a really herby, really flavorful sausage, and the texture should be quite meaty and dense. And when you put it in your mouth, you should feel happy and relaxed and like you want to go to sleep anytime soon.
My gosh, I love it. That sounds like every meal we ever had in Texas, you know. Andrew, thanks for joining us on Celebrate Sausage 2020. We're about to get in the kitchen. We're going to make bangers and mash. I'll have to let you know how it tastes.
Well, good luck, Eric. I can't wait to see how it comes out.
Let's make the British banger. We're going to be using pork shoulder and back fat, about a 70-30 ratio, and I'm going to go ahead and mix in my seasonings. Mixing in your seasonings before you grind it allows the salt to react with the protein, giving you a better bind when you make your sausage. So we're going to mix that in really well. We're going to cover it, and we're going to put it in the fridge overnight or for 12 hours. The next day, I'm going to take my chilled meat. Now remember, we're always going to chill before we grind, and I'm going to grind it twice. The first grind is on a coarse plate. I'm using a 10mm plate, and the second grind is going to be on the smallest one that I have. In this case, it's 3mm. And we're doing this because I want a fine texture for this English banger. Our meat has been in and out of the freezer. This is what it's going to look like. And because we've already seasoned it, it's now time to mix it. English bangers have a unique ingredient called rusk. It's a bread filler that's going to provide a unique texture to your banger. It's also going to help retain a lot of moisture, and it's going to help with the binding properties. It's not a proper banger without rusk, so don't skip that particular ingredient. We've mixed it for a couple of minutes on about a medium speed, and our mince is incredibly tacky. If I grab a little handful of it, the mince will stick to my hand, so if I turn my hand upside down, it's not going to fall, and that's how I know it's ready. We're going to be using natural hog casings for these English bangers. I want to say these are 32, 34 millimeter casings, but whatever casings you happen to have on hand will work for this sausage. They've been cleaned and rinsed, and now we're just going to go ahead and put it onto the stuffing horn and stuff our mincemeat into our sausage casings. The trick here is to not stuff them too full, so I'm just going to allow that mincemeat to gently pull that sausage casing directly off of the horn with very little pressure. This is a skill that definitely takes a little bit of practice, but as soon as you get a few sausages under your belt, you'll certainly get an idea for how much pressure to apply. Now that we've got our sausage in our casings, we're going to go ahead and form our links. And although you can cook these right now, I'm going to let them chill out in the fridge overnight. That's going to help develop the flavors. It's going to dry out the casing. And now it's time to cook our English bangers. Off camera, I've prepared some creamy mashed potatoes, a caramelized onion gravy, and you can find a recipe for all that in the description box below. Okay, time for the moment of truth. We've got our mash, we've got our bangers. Let's go ahead and top it with some just absolutely amazing onion gravy, which I can tell you right now, it's going to add an incredible dimension to these bangers and mash. It looks great, it smells great, and it's time to taste. So we've got a nice smooth slice. It's really juicy, really meaty. Put a little mashed potato right there on top of it and see what that's like.
And there you have it. That's how we made bangers and mash. I want to thank Andrew for helping us out with this episode. You can check out Andrew's Instagram, The Very Hungry Diplomat. There's going to be a link in the description box below. You can check out what this diplomat is cooking, what he's up to. And let me tell you, bangers and mash, absolutely delicious. The combination of sweet with the onions, savory, you've got the buttery, creamy mashed potatoes. All of those come together to form an amazing comfort food. If you've never tried bangers and mash, there's going to be a recipe in the description box below. I highly suggest that you make it. Be sure to stay tuned because tomorrow we've got another exciting episode, same time, same place on Celebrate Sausage. See you later.